Hello, I'm Jason Bates, owner of Electrum Financial, where a mortgage is not just a flip of the coin. If you're looking to purchase or need to refinance in the state of Arizona, I would love to be your lender of choice. Okay, today I wanted to make this video about all the doomsday stuff that's happening out there. There's going to be a market crash, so the housing market's going to crash, and you're going to be screwed. I don't think so, at least not in the state of Arizona anyway. And so I want to go over that real quick and give you my 2 cents on why I don't think there's going to be a crash here in the state of Arizona. I've actually had this conversation with a couple of clients this past week, and so I wanted to make a video as I thought it may help you in your decision to purchase a home. Now, I will say if you're out there to purchase a home, it's a long-term investment right now. It's not a short-term investment where you're going to purchase it and then stay in it for 2 years and then turn it in 2 years for a profit. This is going to be a long-term solution. You're going to be looking into the home. If you're buying a home right now, you're going to be in it minimum 5 years, in my opinion. Don't look at it as a short-term kind of thing. So that means don't settle. Don't get into a home just to get into a home. Get into a home that you love and that you can see yourself growing into, because it is going to be a long-term deal, especially for your first-time home buyers. As I'm hearing reports out there in Arizona, anyway, that people are paying anywhere from 10, 30, 40, 50, I heard even 80% above asking price on the house. That to me is a bit ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't know what agents, telling their buyer to pay $80,000 above asking price, but that is insane to me. Okay, so that kind of gives the state of the market right here in Arizona, right? And in a lot of places in the country right now, actually. There's high demand for private properties. There's also high demand for refinances, which is primarily the driving force right now, which I made a video before about refinances and people who refinance now in their house and have a low interest rate, they're not going to be so keen to want to sell their house in the future unless they have confidence in the future, right? If they got confidence in the future, then they will certainly sell their property and move, therefore helping with the supply chain of homes. Now, what's happening now is people are kind of hunkered down. States have, kind of locked down some things, a lot of things, as a matter of fact, and people are staying put. So you've seen a lot of refinances. The market's really hot as far as that goes, as I mentioned before. But what I think will happen is if a vaccine comes out, which Russia last night said that they've got a vaccine ready to go. Johnson & Johnson also announced last night that they can provide they have the capability of providing 1 billion vaccinations, distributing 1 billion vaccinations across the world. So big news as far as the vaccinations go. We'll see how that plays out in the consumer confidence. Not too keen on that, but that will help consumer confidence, which then that will help companies and their confidence to hire more people. All the pieces are in place right now at this very moment for the economy, once the confidence is there, to really skyrocket and really take off. And what we're lacking right now in inventory, that will start to pick up, not to mention if there are some forbearances that hit the market. I think the demand outweighs the number of forbearances that will hit the market. That's why I say there's going to be a little bit of a correction, maybe a flattening here in Arizona. But states like New York, California, even some maybe in Washington, even Oregon, some of these states, certainly Minneapolis, maybe in Chicago, Illinois, some of these states that are having some political issues could very well see a decline in their home values if they have not seen them already. Only speaking about Arizona because that's what I know here, but I don't know if all those other states have a correction, then certainly we will probably flatten slightly, but with the economy taking off as consumer confidence grows, that will help the housing market. As I've always said, as jobs go, so does housing. So I want to bring up just a couple stats to help illustrate my point here. So let me bring that up here, and let's talk about the first one here, which is the unemployment here, the state unemployment rate as of June 2020. So this ranks the states here of unemployment. So as I said, as jobs go, so does housing. Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Nevada. Nevada's a little bit of a problem. Las Vegas is a little bit of a sister city to Phoenix, but very touristy, obviously, with Las Vegas being there. Nevada, Reno, very touristy as well. California, Michigan, Illinois, Hawaii, very touristy as well. All have high unemployments. I mean, in Pennsylvania, even Delaware, these are all states that have high taxes. Alaska just doesn't have they've always had kind of a high unemployment because of the native population there. Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Oregon, these are all high tax states. If we go down, Arizona's at 10%. Now, I thought that would have been a little bit higher, to be quite honest with you. I thought we'd be at 12%, thereabouts, but as of last month, we're at 10%. So not too bad. Florida, not too bad. If we go all the way to the bottom, this was kind of surprising to me a little bit. I'll just show it real quick. But Kentucky, 4.3%. Wow, good for Kentucky. Used to live in Kentucky, as a matter of fact. So Kentucky doing a good job as far as our employment. So I would imagine their housing prices in Kentucky are pretty stable. I would imagine that. Next thing I want to bring up is this article here, which really prompted me about this video, to do this video, because, and I want to scroll up here just so I can show it here, because I believe there's going to be a migration happening, and it's going to happen over the next couple years. So let's dive into this article here real quick and zoom in, and then we'll wrap it up here. I don't want to take too much of your time here, but I highlighted a couple things here in this article that really stood out to me. According to Hire Helper, 15% of all moves they tracked were motivated by the pandemic. Of those moves, 37% were moving because they could no longer afford to live where they were living. High tax states, right? Their study also found high rent cities like San Francisco and New York saw more people leaving than moving in. Both cities had 80% more people moving out of the area than moving in. New York as a state had 64% more people leaving than moving in. Meanwhile, the state of Idaho saw an increase of 194% more people moving in compared to leaving. The next closest state with a high move-in compared to move-out numbers was New Mexico with 44% increase. It's hard to deny those numbers. It's really hard to deny those numbers. Now, I will say that Arizona is prime. I think Arizona is in a good position here. We got good jobs. We got a good, stable economy. We're doing very, very well, in my opinion, when it comes to the future and the future of housing. So, and our proximity to California. California's got some issues, for sure. Everybody knows that. California's a beautiful place. There's nothing necessarily wrong with California, but right now it's just being mismanaged in a lot of ways. It just is. And that's why we're going to see more people leaving some of these states and moving to states like Arizona, where the taxes are low and the quality of life is very, very high. So with that, that's my 2 cents. I don't think it's going to crash here in Arizona. It may crash in other places like New York. Some of these other places are having huge numbers. Those are big numbers of people leaving. May see some crashes there as far as housing, but here in the state of Arizona, I think it's a safe bet, but it's a long-term bet.